Hey folks, welcome to Burnaby and the Grand Villa Casino, the site of the current National Energy Board public review on the Kinder Morgan expansion project. As you can see, we, the public, are stuck outside in the rain because this is the current state of public pipeline review processes in this country. So thank you to all of you for highlighting just how absurd and inadequate the Harper NEB's review process has been up until now. It's definitely been a factor in pushing the government in Ottawa to move up its announcement that we heard today about a new transition process for energy projects, including pipelines, including Kinder Morgan in this country. So there's some great news from today's announcement, and there's some questions that remain outstanding. The biggest piece of good news is that the National Energy Board, which has totally lost credibility with the Canadian public, has been relieved of its duties to review the Kinder Morgan project. And so after March, they're going to finish their hearings in Calgary, make their recommendation to Cabinet, and then they're out of the picture. The rest of it's going to be handled by government departments and by Cabinet themselves, which include nation-to-nation consultation with First Nations, a real public review process that includes the public, and a climate test. We're still waiting for details, but they're going to look at greenhouse gas emissions as a factor in evaluating whether this project is in the public interest. Questions, however, that are still raised is the government has moved the deadline from, it was going to be August, now it's December to make their final decision. Can you put a deadline on meaningful public consultation or on meaningful nation-to-nation consultation with First Nations? That's up to the public and that's up to First Nations, and if that deadline has to move again, so be it. Second problem is that that new process doesn't change the chemistry of diluted bitumen. And so what we know is that it sinks in water, that much is clear. There is no technology to clean it up once it gets into the water column. So until Kinder Morgan can demonstrate its ability to effectively respond to a marine oil spill or a spill in a river, there's a lot of interveners and a lot of people in BC that are not going to support this project because of the spill risks. And the last thing I'll mention is that it's great to have the public involved in the review process. There are some people for whom this is not about getting to yes. The risks of this project outweigh the rewards. That has to be a valid perspective, and the government has to have a process in place to hear those people too. So it's great news that this is going from the Harper NEB to an elected, accountable cabinet that can factor in all of these new questions in evaluating whether this is in the public interest, but it's going to be up to us to make that case through this process over the next 12 months. So thank you so much for your support in getting us this far, and we'll have more updates for you as we get details about this new process.